Ashton Toope is a bubbly and funny 5-year-old. His kindergarten friends think he's pretty cool. This may be because Ashton was Newfoundland's first cool baby.
The pregnancy was fine. Everything was healthy all the way through, right up until we went into the hospital for delivery. Ashton was actually 2 weeks overdue.
They had to do an emergency C-section on me. He was white as a ghost. There was no color to him. We weren't even sure if he was alive. They had to rush him into the NICU and place him on what's called a cooling blanket. He's actually Newfoundland's first cool baby, and they made him this sign when he was in the NICU.
Because it was not known how long he had been without oxygen, Ashton was rushed into the neonatal intensive care unit to be treated with a procedure called therapeutic hypothermia.
They advised us that they were going to try a treatment that hasn't been tried on children in the province before. They put him on a cooling blanket, which is normally reserved for adults with severe head trauma, I believe. And it lowers your body temperature so that your brain doesn't be as active as it normally would.
They worked on him for 4 to 5 hours before we really even found out anything if he was going to survive the birth.
Ashton had difficulty in breathing soon after birth and his heart rate was low. He needed quite significant resuscitation in form of putting a tube in his windpipe and also needed medication to boost his heart rate. We thought it was a condition called hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy.
He was left on a cooling blanket for 3 days to lower his body temperature because they weren't sure if there was any brain damage.
It was very traumatic experience to go through as a first-time parent. You expect to go in and have your baby and you spend a day in the hospital and you come home.
But spunky Ashton pulled through with flying colors. He was monitored carefully, and when all signs were clear, the doctors gave him the okay to head home.
So he did very well through the procedure. There wasn't any significant complication and he fed very well, so he went home pretty early in general timelines.
For newborns that have been deprived of oxygen, a cooling blanket is now considered the standard of care.
It was a very, very difficult time. It was probably the hardest thing we've ever had to experience.
Her parents, my parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody, family all came together, and it's good to have a good support network. The nurses were really great to help us, give us any information that they could, when they could. The doctors were there on call if we need them at any time to come and give us updates, basically to talk to us, to kind of calm us down.
Dr. Despan, she was the doctor who cared for him while he was at the Janeway. He was one of the specialists there, and he was very, very informative with us.
Ashton's progress was followed by Janeway specialists for 2 years to make sure that he was developing normally. Today, Newfoundland's first cool baby is home and in perfect health.
Things now are excellent. Do everything as a family. I think it brought us really close together to be more family-oriented. The most memorable part of the Janeway experience was just how kind the nurses were and how willing to help and willing to be compassionate that they were with us, and how much they care about the children when they're there.